'cause I want it all, anyway at all. Thought I missed it by waiting for the game respond, for the lost and found, for the home alone, and for you to come home, you to come home. I let you in, it ain't a sin, with all these simulations. Should be fixed now, will take a while to get rid of. I'm sorry, no, we can't see the good that we had, Jenny. I'm waiting for the curtain call, 'cause I want it all, anyway at all. Thought I missed it by waiting for the game respond, for the lost and found, for the home alone, and for you to come home, you to come home. I let you in, it ain't a sin, with all these simulations. Should be fixed now, will take a while to get rid of. I'm sorry, no, we can't see the good that we had, Jenny. I won't let my feelings play a game, so I might as well remove your name. Jenny, you will not stay the same, but I'll be waiting here until the end, till the end, until the end. I let you in, it ain't a sin, with all these simulations. Should be fixed now, will take a while to get rid of. I'm sorry, no, we can't see the good that we had, Jenny. I won't let my feelings play a game, so I might as well remove your name. Jenny, you will not stay the same, but I'll be waiting here until the end. I'm waiting for the curtain call, 'cause I want it all, anyway at all. Thought I missed it by waiting for the game respond, for the lost and found, for the home alone, and for you to come home, you to come home. I let you in, it ain't a sin, with all these simulations. Should be fixed now, will take a while to get rid of. I'm sorry, no, we can't see the good that we had, Jenny. I'm waiting for the curtain call, 'cause I want it all, anyway at all. Thought I missed it by waiting for the game respond, for the lost and found, for the home alone, and for you to come home, you to come home.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever in the world you are. Hope you are having an awesome Tuesday. Welcome all to the Steve Freeman podcast. It's going to be a good one tonight. And I typed in each of the chats, no matter where you're watching from tonight, that if you are easily offended, listen closely. I am probably, more than likely, going to say some things tonight that are going to offend some of you, many of you, a few of you, I don't know. But I've got some pretty strong opinions, and some of you guys were hitting me up on social media today because of what I had posted earlier. We are going to talk, the big spectrum that we're going to talk about tonight is, of course, what's going on with Spotify and Amazon and others. The big story circulating last week into this week is that Spotify is suing songwriters. That is not exactly what is happening. We're going to talk about what actually is happening. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on what exactly I think about it, but what's going on. What I see going on around in the songwriting community here in Nashville, I see a little bit of hypocrisy, quite honestly, that's going on. But what had everybody talking today was the fact that we are going to talk about Lauren Daigle and her being a Christian artist. I got a lot of messages from you guys, DMs on Twitter and on Instagram, and even on Facebook, some regular people posting it. Oh no, don't say anything bad about Lauren. I love her. Excuse me. Well, buckle up, buttercups. Buckle up. Like I said, the meat of tonight's show is definitely going to be about Spotify, and it is going to be about Amazon. It's going to be about what's going on with them, quote unquote, suing songwriters. We're going to get into that. But since so many of you are worried to death about what I'm going to say about poor little Lauren Daigle, I thought we would start there first, because I think it's important. Now, none of you have any idea what I'm going to say or what I'm getting ready to say. But before we get into this, the one thing that we're going to do here, okay, is we're going to watch something. And what spurred this on, and what really got me wanting to talk about this, was a video that for whatever reason I was perusing, just minding my own business, browsing through the rabbit hole that is YouTube. And for whatever reason, this video came up as a suggested video for me to watch. And it is freaking cold as a well digger's ass in Montana in here right now. The weather in Nashville is changing, and so like 2 days ago, it was 17 degrees, and today it's 70, so we've got the air on, and it's right freezing here in the Steve Freeman podcast studio tonight. I have blocked it, and it is still cold, so bear with me. Nevertheless, back to Lauren Daigle. So here I was, just minding my own business in YouTube. Just doing research, looking around, seeing if there's anything I could find that I wanted to watch. And oddly enough, you know what it was? My daughter wanted me to watch a video, one of Jeffree Star's videos. And I had watched a couple of Jeffree Star's videos. And oddly enough, this was on the suggested videos on the side. Let me set this up for you here. Here's where we're going to go. This guy, we'll get into it afterward, but before, here's what I want to say. okay? We're going to watch this. We're not going to watch the entire thing because this entire video is like 11 minutes and 39 seconds. And I'm just not going to give this guy that much time on my channel. You know, I'm just not going to do it. But there's some there's some things here that I think people need to hear. Like seriously, I think people need to hear it. So I ran across this video, I found it, and I thought, you know what? This would be a great topic for the podcast. A new feature I'm calling Steve Gets on His Soapbox. This is going to be my soapbox segment, if you will, in the Steve Freeman podcast. So we're going to watch this video. I'm going to stop it at some point. I'm not sure. I know I haven't marked it down. Look, I'm not prepared. Like, prepared people would have this written down on a piece of paper. We're going to start this video here. We're going to end it at 3 minutes and 21 seconds. Not me, folks. This is live. This is happening as it happens. So we're going to start this. I'm going to play it. I'm going to stop it where I thought I was going to stop it before. But I want you to listen to what this guy has to say. This video, mind you, has 513,240 views as of right now. It has 12,000 likes and 2,100 dislikes on YouTube. I'm going to tell you who the guy is and all about him once we get done. But I want you to watch this, and then we will talk about it together, and I will give you my thoughts on what I think about what this guy has to say. He might bring up some good points. Let's take a look.
You're known as far as your music. Mm-hmm. You're known as more of a Christian artist. Mm-hmm. But now with all this mainstream, I mean, you're at MyFM, mainstream, hot AC. Things are, I guess there's just a two-part question. First of all, what do you call yourself? How do you name yourself? Because do you call yourself still a Christian artist, even in the mainstream, or what do you call yourself?
I feel like those labels get...
First off, let's stop it right there. This has obviously been sped up. If you can't tell that I didn't do that, that's this guy's video. We're starting this out with an interview that Lauren Daigle is having with a radio station, 104.3 My FM. Pick it back up.
Put on you by other people, which is, and I'm not,
like me, like I just did.
No. Well, I was reading an article. I read them like here and there. Gotta stay away sometimes, but then other times I'm like, indulge. And I was reading one, and one of them's like Christian artist, another one's just artist. So I think part of me is just artist because it encompasses everything. Sure. That's kind of how I see myself. And then...
Okay, now here's where we get into the meat of the video. This is what the video is all about. Here's this guy. He's got a message based on what Lauren Daigle has been saying in her recent interviews, now that she's found some fame and some success, about not labeling herself a quote-unquote Christian artist, but just saying that she's an artist. And cue this guy.
Hey family, it's Brother Mario. I pray you're having a great day. Unfortunately, I needed to make this video as the final video in my Lauren Daigle video series.
Final video. So obviously this guy's got, I mean, he's following this story and he's done multiple videos, but this is the final video on the Lauren Daigle series.
If you haven't seen it, I'll link it up in the description section. I've been covering the controversy ever since she went on The Ellen Show. Now, if you don't remember, she went on The Ellen Show and a lot of brothers and sisters in Christ were concerned. Now, if you watch my reaction to that, I clearly gave her the benefit of the doubt. Then she goes on Jimmy Fallon, and once again, I give her the benefit of the doubt. Then she goes on iHeartRadio.
Because that's the Christianly thing to do, is give people the benefit of the doubt. It's turn the other cheek. It's, you know, judge not lest ye be judged. That sort of thing.
Radio, and she cannot articulate whether or not the Bible is clear about homosexuality being a sin, which shows that she's biblically illiterate. I mean, that's Bible 101. And so there I stood a little bit more firmly against this. And now today, I have to, after this, remove her from my Christian music playlist. Well,
seriously?
Guess what? She doesn't even want to be called a Christian artist. So guess what, Lauren? You don't belong on my Christian music playlist. Now, I wanted to talk about this because this is becoming a trend. And I want us as the body of Christ to begin to be very aware of this type of compromise to the world and the entertainment music industry.
Tell us about it, brother.
I'm actually going to talk about this 4-step process that we can witness.
This is almost like Christian Music Anonymous. It's got steps and shit.
In an artist who is going to compromise and sell out to the world. This is a pattern that we've seen in a previous Christian artist
Do tell,
who
brother.
also came out publicly and said that the Christian artist was just a label that was placed on him. Okay. Yes, I'm talking about none other than Lecrae.
Oh,
Lecrae comes out. Okay, let's watch this. So Lecrae and Lauren Daigle, they take this 4-step process to selling out. Step 1.
So now they're selling out.
Start off clearly as a Christian. Lecrae, in his first couple albums, said the word Jesus 50 times.
And everybody knows because you say the word Jesus, you're a Christian.
Okay, so clearly he was targeting a Christian audience.
Targeting a Christian audience.
Same thing with Lauren. So step number 1, accumulate Christian followers by creating Christian music. Then you've got yourself a Christian music career, but you want more.
Because we all know how lucrative the Christian music career can be.
More than that, that's not enough. So step 2, once you get famous enough in the Christian music industry, then you can go to worldly secular music labels and show them the following that you have and how much sales you can generate.
Now, pause. It's not just that way in Christian music. It's that way in music overall. We've been over this. Record labels do not develop artists anymore. They look down at independent artists that are investing in themselves and growing their career and growing an engaged fan base, and then that's when they swoop in, and that's when they sign it, and that's when they make it financially successful. And now back to our brother here.
Then the worldly secular industry, because they're money-hungry lost people.
So, not being judgmental or anything, or unchristian-like, or unchrist-like, we're now worldly lost people.
Definitely take an interest.
I'm learning something here. I don't know about you. I'm learning. I hope you're learning. I hope you're listening to this. This gentleman knows what he's talking about, and I hope you're listening.
In you. Then, step number...
With his hoodie and everything.
Number 3, become a friend of the world. Water down your music. Praise the worldly lost singers for their gifts and talents. And never make a bold stand for Jesus Christ.
Amen, brother.
And step number 4.
He can count.
You have now become a compromised sellout artist.
A compromised sellout artist.
And this is what we're seeing. This is what they're doing, guys. Don't be deceived. They start out as Christian so that they can gain a following, and then they turn on us. They literally turn on us. After a while, it's like, hey, I used to create music for the Christian body. Not anymore. I'm going to water it down. It's all about my own career. It down. It's all about myself now. Who cares about Jesus and the gospel, Lord, and taking a stand for him? Now, the comments in the video for the interview, I just wanted to go over them here. We have some people who at least know what's going on. You have Eternity with Jesus.
Yes, we all know those bright and amazing people that leave comments on YouTube know exactly what they're talking about.
Who says, Lauren Daigle is not about Jesus. She's obviously about herself. She does not represent Christ followers. And I now have...
Whoever that was that left that comment obviously is the most brilliant man on the face of the planet.
Have to agree.
And he agrees.
Ivan said she denied Jesus for fame and money. Sad, but then she was never for him.
Preach!
Fruitful Vine said, what a sellout. Shame. But at least we heard from the horse's mouth that she is not.
Now, did he just refer to a woman as a horse? Now, I know that's not okay. Now, you can deny Jesus all day long, but now we start talking and calling women horses. Now we're into a serious problem here.
Not a Christian artist. And so this interview is going to be going out. And brothers and sisters, this is just where we as the body of Christ...
Can you feel how concerned he is for your soul? I feel it.
Have to take a stand and say, no, we're not going to be taken advantage of. So the people, off of the name of Jesus, off of a Christian...
No, wait. Well, hold on. I'll get to that in a minute.
...following can then take that, what they've built up, and then turn it into worldly fame and success for themselves and to build their own career. We need to take firm stands against this.
Amen.
If you're a Christian artist and the world is approaching you and they're luring...
I feel like he's talking to me.
...luring you in with promise...
I'm feeling lured.
Of fame and fortune and being all over the big...
All that satanic bullshit. Money, success, prosperity, that devil stuff.
It's billboards in this. Wake up, okay? That's the enemy trying to get you to be a sellout, trying to get you to compromise. Don't be like Lauren. Don't be like Lecrae. They are the...
Be like me.
...examples of what not to do. Okay? Look at Lauren Daigle and look at Lecrae. They
look
are what
them.
you don't do. And I'm going to deal with this here because I know
push
some
those
of you
fucking
have
sleeves up.
fallen
Preach
for
it.
Lecrae and her lie. You have been lied to. They're trying to tell you
I have been
that
lied to.
in order
I
to
feel
reach
lied to.
lost people, we must be like them. We must dress
pop
up,
it.
put
Pop
on,
the collar.
We must be sheep
Yes.
in wolves' clothing.
Amen.
That's what they're telling you. Lecrae wants you to
I feel like I need to go to
that
church.
He's out there in the world now, and he's actually preaching the gospel and getting people saved. Who's getting saved? Lecrae, you crossed over to hip-hop. Where are the salvations? Where are those who are professing faith? Where are the
Because everybody goes on social media and says, I got saved because of Lecrae.
hip-hop artists in
Where
the
are
music
you?
entertainment industry that Lecrae is so ministering
Hashtag
to
saved by
that they
Lecrae.
give up their music career, they repent, they start creating Christian music. It's not happening. All that happened was he compromised, became appealing to the world so that he could fit into their system and make money and be worldly. Wake up.
Make money and be worldly. All right, I'm not, I can't, okay. That's where I'm going to stop it right there. Okay. So very valid points have been made. But here's what I'm going to say. Okay. On behalf, I consider myself a Christian. So for me, on behalf of everybody I know that believes what I believe and thinks what I think, okay, to this gentleman who is obviously concerned. He is obviously concerned about your soul, my soul, everybody else's soul. On behalf of all of us, I just want to say to this guy a couple of things. One, fuck you. That's number one. Watching this video really upset me the other day. And I will tell you why. It is because of people like, where is it? Can I pull him back up? I think I can. It is because of asshats like this guy. It's people like him that give Christians a bad name. Now, I remember going to Sunday school. I remember going to church. I am a Christian. I don't go to church anymore, and I don't go to church because I would have to go and sit next to fucksticks like this. People that judge other people, judge not lest you be. God is our only judge. That's what I believe. I will be judged one time. When I die and I have to stand in front of my Savior and account for what I did while he gave me this, that's when I'll be judged. Not by this motherfucker in a Canadian hoodie. I think with what's going on in the world today, there are 514,000 views on this. There are people that are buying this bullshit. Just because Lauren Daigle goes on a program, on a radio show, television show, any other kind of show, and will not just constantly say, I'm a Christian artist, I'm a Christian artist, that doesn't mean that she's selling out. She's trying to become more Freudian slip there. She's trying to become more successful with the talents that God gave her. Now, I want to make another little point. Point two. I have been a professional in the music industry for almost 30 years. Let me go back. I'm not even keeping his face up. Almost 30 years. I have dealt with death metal bands. I have dealt with country bands, rock bands, rap artists. I've dealt with them all. Do you want to know who the most morally corrupt people are? Christian artists. I could tell you stories that would blow your mind, and I could tell you stories, I guarantee, about artists that he thinks are Christian artists. Christian music is the most backstabbing, cruel, under-the-table, manipulative, dirty, gross, grimy, scummy part of the music business. Not rap, not gangster rap, not death metal, none of that. Christian music. It's the worst racket on the face of the planet. And I want to go back to my first point just a little bit because I think this is important. You know, people they talk bad about me a lot because of the tattoos, and I smoke and I use extremely bad language. But I will tell you, and I'm just going to get on the reel with you guys. And I know some of you guys don't watch or listen to this program for this, but this is a personal thing for me. Like I said, I do consider myself a Christian. I also think that if there was somebody that I wanted to try to lead to Christ, that I have a better shot of doing it than this motherfucker. Because I'm real. I'm going to come before you and say, you know what, man? I have been where you've been. I've got the tattoos. I smoke. I don't talk the way that I should talk. You know, but that is the most awesome thing that I can share with you is that our God forgives. There's nothing you can do that our God won't forgive you for. There's nothing you can say on Ellen that God doesn't and hasn't already forgiven you for, because all of that was covered the day that Jesus Christ died on the cross. And this guy, this is why I think people think that Christians are like the freaking church on Footloose. Just Southern Baptist and Pentecost and all of this other that are very straight-laced, and you can only be a Christian if Jesus is the third word out of your mouth over everything. I don't think God is that vain. I don't think he needs us to constantly walk around and praise him. And so I wanted to get into this a little bit because I encourage, and I know people that are close to Lauren, and I know they're watching this tonight, or they will watch it on demand because they weren't sure what I was going to say. I say more power to you, Lauren. You go out there and you represent yourself. See, your actions say more than your words do. I have looked and I haven't found anything in the way that Lauren Daigle lives her life, or the fact that, or anything that she does that would lead me to believe that she is not a quote-unquote Christian. The other thing that I have a problem with are Christians like this creating a persona and this almost model Christian that they put up on this pedestal, that if you don't live up to that, and that's not what you look like, and that's not what you say, and that's not what you sound like, then you're not a Christian. Guys, let me tell you, there's only one person that determines whether or not you are a Christian, and that guy ain't him. I believe that a relationship with God is a personal relationship. No matter what God you want to believe in, it's between you and him. It's not between you and him and a third party. And I will say again, it's people like that why I don't go to church anymore. That is becoming the face of modern Christianity. And I don't like it. This guy, I've got to say it because I got to give him credit. This guy's the Vigilant Vlog. This guy has 50,000 subscribers. And he has done a lot of videos like this. And to me, I think it's almost a character assassination. Now, I do want to give some validity to some of the points that this guy has made. The Christian music pool is a very small pool. What I don't agree with is that he's saying that because Lauren Daigle is now having mainstream success, that she's not a Christian. That doesn't mean that she's a Christian or not a Christian, and she doesn't have to wear a shirt that says, I'm a Christian, everywhere she goes. The Christian music pool is a very limited and small group within the music industry. Here's the other problem I have. As a songwriter and as a producer, let me tell you one of the dirty little tricks that Christian radio pulls. None of those stations, the Fish, none of them pay royalties. Why? Because they consider themselves a ministry. They consider themselves a church and a ministry. So they don't pay royalties like all the other radio stations do, because they set themselves up as nonprofits. That's why when you're listening to The Fish, or you're listening to K-Love, or you're listening to all those, they want you to call in and give to the station to keep the station on the air, and they've got this pastor going over here and this trip over here because they're set up like a nonprofit. They have to give out all that money that comes in, so they're not paying royalties. You can have a huge hit on Christian radio, and the songwriters aren't going to make anything. Most of the time now, artists such as Lauren, if you're not playing the mega church circle, which means drinking the mega church Kool-Aid and saying what they want you to say and do what they want you to do, then you're not even going to get in on that. There's no money to be made in Christian music. There are more sharks in Christian music than I can ever possibly describe to you guys. So I listen to this guy berate Lauren Daigle and talk about her not representing an industry, and she is using her God-given talent to the best of her ability to get out there and earn a living and do what she wants with her life. And I am not going to call her a hypocrite. I'm certainly not going to say that she is not a Christian, because that's not my place. It is not my place to judge other people. It is not my place to go and tell other people to judge other people. What's the old thing that we used to be told as children? Never throw rocks from a glass house. And that's what I feel was happening here. So I wanted to talk about it a little bit tonight. And look, I'll tell you something else. He brought up Lecrae, which I got to be honest with you, I'm not familiar with who Lecrae is. I don't follow Christian. I've said this many times. Music was not about passion for me about 6, 7, 8 years ago. It became all about the money. So when that happened, I could care less about writing Christian music or releasing Christian music, of which I used to do a lot. I used to do a lot, quite a bit actually. I chose not to do that because I couldn't get paid. When I did do something, it was always the Christian artists or the people that quote-unquote called themselves Christian as openly as that guy wants you to. They were always the ones screwing you. Always. Bar none. Above everybody. But see, this is not the first time that this has happened. Some of you may not be old enough to remember this, but this is the same thing that they put Amy Grant through back in the late 80s and early 90s when Baby Baby came out. All of a sudden, she's not a Christian and she's of the devil and blah, blah, blah. They did the same thing. And I just find it sad. I just find it very sad that there are people, and this guy thinks that he's ministering to people. He thinks that he is showing people the way. And that's very frustrating to me, because I don't believe that the guy is showing anybody the way anywhere. And that, to me, as somebody who will identify themselves as a Christian, will be the first to stand up and say, that is wrong. That guy and people like him are exactly what's wrong with Christianity. That's why everybody thinks that being a Christian isn't cool. Because we're closed-minded. We only believe what asshats like that have to say. We can't think for ourselves. And we have to live up to this idea that has been placed up on a pedestal. Folks, we are real people. We make mistakes. Lauren Daigle has not made any mistakes as far as her music's career has gone. The only thing, if anything, she has messed up and made a mistake with is become successful beyond the Christian music genre. And another clue in for that guy, too. Regardless of what she thinks about what is or what is not homosexuality, doesn't mean she's a Christian or not. Read your Bible. There's only one thing. There's only one sin that will not get you through the gates of heaven. And that, my friends, is denying the fact that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. That is in the Bible. Nowhere in there does it say if you're gay, you're going to hell. Not in the New Testament. which is really what matters. Because if we focus on the Old Testament, we're going to church now, folks. And you don't want to get in this with me. I promise you don't, because you would be surprised at the level of things that I know about faith and religion. That's all Old Testament bullshit that guy's talking. I don't care if you're gay. Being gay, you can be gay and be a Christian. Are you? If you are a Christian and you look at things that way, can you say that you think gay people are sinning? Absolutely. But I've probably sinned 37 times today. The Bible also says there is no one sin greater than the other. So if you've ever lied in your life, in God's eyes, that's just as big of a sin as being gay. Now, you can go try to justify that however you want, but using things like that, like he said in his video, that she couldn't even say whether she thought being gay or gay marriage was against the Bible. It's because her view on it doesn't matter. It's not going to be what does or does not get her in the gates of heaven when she dies. So, with that being said, I want to wrap that up. That's me getting on my soapbox. How long did that go? That took me 32 minutes. If you guys have any opinions that you would like to do, throw them in chat. I'm happy to debate you, but I will warn you. Before you want to debate me on religion, the Bible, and Christianity, you better come armed. You better come with 2 double-barrel shotguns in both hands, because I know a lot more than you're going to want to give me credit for. Trust me. See, because from the time I was probably able to read, when I got in trouble at home, I was made to go sit and read the Bible for hours. So I've actually read the Bible cover to cover probably 40 to 50 times. I used to have to memorize chapters, verses, sometimes even complete books of the Bible. So I know them. See, you don't think about that when you look at me, do you? You don't think about that with the tattoos and the language and the smoking and some of the things that I do in the way that I live my life. But for me, Jesus is in here. And I don't care what you think, because I don't fit into your model of what the typical good Christian is supposed to look like. And guys, I encourage you, whether you are, see, here's the other thing, and this is not a popular, I don't care if you're a believer or not, because I know what I believe, and that's all that matters. Me and my family. I would, none of us know, right? So it's almost like an insurance policy. None of us know. I just know that when I look outside, I don't think that this just spontaneously combusted. I can't look in my daughter's eyes and not for an instant think that there's not a God. There is not something bigger than me. What that is, I don't know. When did it start? I don't know. But that's what faith's all about. And if you're watching and you are a believer, if you really want to exude and show and be a representative and the best representative of Christ that you can be yourself. Period. Be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else, because that is bearing a false witness. I feel sorry for guys like this. Think of the rules they must put on themselves and the weight that when they get out of bed every morning, they have to put that weight of that religiosity or religiousness. They have to put that cloak on that weighs so heavy that, guys, there was a guy that died on a cross so that we didn't have to do that. But some of us choose to get up and do it every day. And then we go on YouTube and we judge other people like it's our position to do. If you're not a believer, look, I respect your opinion. I have atheists that are friends. Some of them make some really good points. You know, we could throw this out into everything, whether it be political beliefs or all the Democrat, Republican. I don't care what you are. Unless what you are somehow affects how you treat me, that's the only time we're going to have a problem. I don't agree. I was raised very religious. Very, 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 very strictly religious. My parents and I today, we do not have the same beliefs. I am not instructing or teaching my children the way that I was instructed. I don't have a problem with gay marriage. I don't care who you love. Why is it my business? I don't care if gay people want to adopt kids. I'm adopted. I was adopted at 3 months old. So I know what being the beneficiary of two people, regardless of their gender or sexual orientation, I know what it feels like when two people who love each other love you. So I don't care. I don't care about Democrat. I don't care about Republican. I don't care about judging. Now, when you want to hop up on a soapbox and preach at me, I'm going to preach back. But I don't impend on anybody when it comes to their views on anything. I have my beliefs. I have my views. Abortion. I don't agree with abortion. Why? Because I don't agree with it. 1, 2, I was adopted. But I don't, if you do, that's fine. I don't care. Don't try to convince me that I'm wrong, because you never will. And that's the problem with where we are as a country today and as a world today. We're not okay with everybody being who they are. We have to make them want to be just like us. And how boring of a world would it be if we all believed the same thing? If we all believed in the same God, if we all loved the same gender, how boring would it be? And I'll wrap all this up with one thing, especially for those of you listening that are believers. I'm getting texts from people that are not happy about what I'm saying, by the way. If you are a believer, then you think that God made us. If that is the case, which should be the foundation of your faith, if God made us, he made you and he made me. He made us exactly the way he wanted us to be. So why, as believers, are we running around trying to change people? Because God, if you're a believer, you believe that God made everyone in his image. And if there's one thing we're taught, it's that God doesn't make mistakes. So it's hard to look at somebody as a believer who may be gay or transgendered or whatever and look down on that person because God made them. And it's not my position to judge, and it's not that guy's position to judge Lauren Daigle. That's my 2 cents. That's my soapbox. If you want to make a comment, you want to take me on about anything that I'm talking about, feel free. Pop it in the chat. I'm not going to berate you for the way that you think or the way that you believe. That's not why I'm here. I'm here telling you what I believe. But I thought that was interesting, and it just really, as you could tell, it really got under my skin. It got under my skin quite a bit. And so I wanted to talk about it. And what I'm going to be doing now, every week, this is going to become a thing, because trust me, I find plenty of stuff that pisses me off. Plenty. So every week I'm going to find something to be able to step up on my soapbox for. That moron was this week. And I'm sure I will hear about this. I'm sure he'll probably going to do a video on me next. Let him. Here's the other thing. I would love to debate somebody like that. I would love to have that guy on this show and debate him back and forth about why he feels like it's his job. Did God appointed him the guy that's going to tell us all who's Christian and who's not? I'd love the opportunity to do that. But anyway, there you have it. All right, I do want to get into the so-called meat and potatoes of what this week's show going to be. By the way, nobody has said anything in chat, and I got to be honest with you, my feelings are a little hurt little bit. You may notice the beard is gone. 6 years having a beard, and it is gone. Now everybody's going to rush to say something in chat, but I just want you all to know nobody said anything, and it did hurt my feelings. Now, what's going on with Spotify, Amazon, and the reports that are coming out that Spotify is suing songwriters? I want to get into this because that is the reason they're saying that is because that is a great headline. Okay, it got my attention. Spotify is suing songwriters. They're not suing songwriters. There was an agreement made and reached several months ago that the copyright board, they were going to be increasing songwriter royalty payouts 44% over the next 5 years. And this was it was a blanket thing. They were raising the rates. They haven't done it in over 100 years. This is the first time that it's gone up. It's part of the Music Modernization Act, the whole 9 yards, okay? So they made a decision, and all of the streaming platforms were going to they were going to see a 44% increase in what they were having to pay out in songwriter royalties, over the next 5 years. So that's less than 10% a year for the next 5 years whenever you hadn't had a raise in 100. They're not suing songwriters. There's no lawsuit that's being filed against songwriters. Here's what's going on. They are appealing that decision that they made. Is that a shitty thing to do? It's absolutely a shitty thing to do because they don't pay us anything now. It's literally like 0.0000845 cents per stream. It's less than 1/100th. It's literally less than 1/100th of a penny per stream. Under the current payout system, if you get 1 million streams, it's like, I want to say, is it 8? Let me do that. I did it, and I forgot. See, this is what comes when we're doing this shit on the fly. I'm just going to do it. Let's see. 1 million streams times 0.00084. You're going to make about $8,400 on 1 million streams. Now, if there's anybody watching or listening that thinks that's good, speak now or forever hold your peace. It is not good. It is not good at all. And most of the time, it's not even that much because the depending on what they had negotiated with various royalties and outlets and performing rights organizations and record labels, the actual amount could be 0.000006 all the way up to 0.000854. So it's basically nothing, right? Okay. So there's this new the bargaining agreement that is now going through that they're going to have to raise those rates by 44% over the next 5 years. Amazon and Spotify have said we don't want to do that. We don't want to have to pay an increase to songwriters. So they are appealing this decision. They're not suing songwriters. Are they screwing songwriters? Absolutely. But they've been screwing songwriters since the day they started business. Since the day they started streaming music, they have been screwing us. Because they're charging $10 a month, and they have, I looked up the figures, and it was, the more I looked at it, I mean, I've always been really upset about this. But when you look at the figures and you realize that like Q3 of last year, they had 300 million users or something like that. So that's 300 million times $10. I'm not even going to do the math. But they want to pay less than 1/100th of a cent in royalties on that stream. Here's the other thing you got to understand. When us pro songwriters write a song, most of the time we've co-written it with another writer or another 2 writers or another 3 writers. It could be a 2-way, 3-way, 4-way, 5-way. So that 1/100th of a penny now gets split 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different ways. So even though that song generates $8,500 after 1 million streams, that $8,500 is now going to get split twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, or more. Thank you, Big Mike. $3 billion a quarter. $3 billion a quarter is what they're bringing in. It's actually more than that. A month, I'm sorry. $3 billion a month is what they're bringing in revenue. And they want to argue about paying less than 1/100th of a cent to songwriters for every stream. It's ridiculous. But I digress, and I'm going to go a little further than that. I got myself into some hot water, which is my home. I love the doghouse, and if that doghouse was sitting in hot water, I would be like a pig in shit, because that's where I feel best. That's where I feel at home. I started noticing I did something I don't hardly ever do anymore, and I got on Facebook. When this was announced, and it's going through everything, and they're talking about how they're going to, Spotify's suing songwriters. All of my contemporaries and colleagues, my distinguished colleagues. Sorry, I've been watching the Grand Tour a lot lately, and I'm loving the show. And so I feel like I'm doing a Madonna thing where I'm starting to develop an English accent, or at least fake one at every opportunity, because I'm loving it. Anyway, back. I was on Facebook. All of my colleagues were posting pictures of screenshots they had taken of themselves canceling their Spotify subscription, their premium Spotify subscription. And I know why they're doing it. They want, as if they don't get enough attention or put enough shit out on social media to draw attention to themselves. Here we go. We're going to look like the good guy, the knight in shining armor, up on our steed, leading the way, canceling our Spotify premium memberships because they are doing songwriters wrong. That was my Rush Limbaugh impersonation. Was that good? I thought it was pretty good. Anyway, I looked at all of them, and I took it the complete opposite way, because I'm a realist. I have a tendency to look and to see things as they are, not how as you want me to see them. I don't buy bullshit real well, and I see straight through perception. It's my superhuman and superpower. That and being able to completely ignore people. Those are my 2 superpowers. That's what I saw when I looked at it. Was wait just a second. And I posted this on Facebook. I'm going to read it, because I'm not going to get caught saying that I paraphrased something and that I didn't say it exactly the way that I said it. If I can find this quickly, I'm going to read exactly what I put. Here it is. I said, to all my fellow pro songwriters that are posting screenshots of canceling your Spotify accounts. First, they could care less. Second, with the way we have been treated by Spotify and the current payment disbursement, why the fuck were you a customer to begin with? So you were fine with them screwing us for years and basically using our creations for free while they make money off of them. But you've now somehow drawn the line because they want to be called daddy while they do it. How about growing a real pair, making a real statement, and not allowing artists that plan to put our songs on streaming platforms to cut them? Nope. I bet none of you are willing to do that. Enjoy that extra latte a month you just bought yourself. If you're a pro songwriter and have ever paid for Spotify and complained about the royalty rates, you are a part of the problem, not the solution. That's how I saw that. And I'm sitting here watching hundreds of my colleagues who I have sat and watched on Facebook and other social media go to Congress and sit in front of Congress on behalf of NSAI and other songwriters and performing rights organizations, I have seen them go sit and testify in front of Congress about the detriment of what Spotify and the other streaming platforms are doing to the songwriter as a career and as a craft and as a profession. These same people are now posting pictures of themselves canceling their Spotify premium membership. Meaning that all along, you are paying for, you're using and paying for the service that you are accusing them of tearing down. That, my friends, is a hypocrite. Now, I'm not going to go as far as the other dude and say that all of them are not Christian, because I don't freaking know. But I find that ironic. That now for 3 years, it was the Music Modernization Act, and it's always been about this. We need to get paid more. The royalties are crap. We're not making any money off streaming, and that's where everything's going because people don't value music enough to buy it anymore. Everybody wants to stream it, and songwriters all over Nashville, New York, and Los Angeles are just like, yes, we need more money. We deserve more money. You're basically ripping us off. You're committing armed robbery. We're not getting paid, and now you're starting to see all these songwriters posting pictures of themselves canceling their Spotify premium membership. And then I made a comment, somebody else made a comment, and then I commented after that, is we as pro songwriters, if we're not buying music, we're fucked. The system is screwed. If all of us complaining about Spotify are paying for it and using Spotify premium, we have no argument. We have no leg to stand on. It is one of the most hypocritical things that I have come across in years. I couldn't believe it. You would think, as strongly as many of us have come out about this, that the last thing in the world you would want people doing is finding out that you're a Spotify customer. You're part of the problem. You're streaming everybody's music instead of buying it yourself. So if we're not going to do it, and if we ourselves are not going to set the example, then how do we expect everybody else to? How can we tell everybody else you shouldn't be streaming music because the content creators and the songwriters are not getting paid, so we're going to boycott it and we're not going to do that until it's equal pay, it's fair pay, and blah, blah, blah. And then, you have that big argument and rah, 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 and then you jump in your car and you're turning on your Spotify premium playlist. It's just sad. This is the world that we are living in. I fall somewhere in between on streaming. Where I think that we went wrong was that we underestimated the platform. Like we do everything. We underestimated the streaming business. We, honest to God, thought, no, people will never stop buying music. People will never stream music. What do you mean stream music on your phone? That will never catch on. So we struck bad deals. We're here of our own fault. So it's just sad. The more I think about it, it's almost. I actually, when I saw it the other night, I just started laughing. Because my thought was that if it were me and I were paying for Spotify Premium and I'm a songwriter who's been very vocal about Spotify and everybody else screwing us over, the last thing I'm going to do is we're basically fucking ourselves. Go figure. And you wonder why the music business is broken. That, my friends, is an example of why. We've seen two examples tonight of why and how the music business is broken. We got one guy coming out trying to slam Lauren Daigle because she doesn't have a cross on her back everywhere she goes. She's not bleeding from the hands and feet. And then we've got songwriters who complain the loudest come out of the proverbial Spotify closet with their premium memberships. Oh, it's a tangled web we weave when once we practice to deceive. I do say so myself. Those are the two main things that I wanted to talk about tonight. I have to be real honest with you. 10 minutes before the show tonight, I almost canceled. I'm glad now that I didn't, but it was almost a thing. I'm trying to get back on this schedule thing. It's not going great, but it's going. Hashtag not an ad. Hashtag but it should be. How many people saw the story that came out today about the celebrities, Felicity Huffman being one of them, got arrested because of this whole college thing? They were paying people at certain universities to I'm talking Harvard, Yale, UCLA, USC, a bunch of colleges are wrapped up in this thing. Felicity Huffman, the actress, is in jail right now. But there's several of them. William H. Macy's wife, Felicity Huffman, is in jail right now because they were a part of these schemes where they were paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to get their kids admitted into the college that their kids wanted to be in. And there was a bunch of fraudulent stuff going on, creating positions on rowing teams and all this other stuff that never existed just so their kids can get in. I love it. I look at it and I think, there are two sides of it. I think one, as a parent, I would do anything to give my kids what they want. Spoiled or not, I would do anything in the world to give them what they want. My daughter is going to UCLA in 2 years. It's dead set, that's where she's going. I would do anything to make sure that happens for her. So I get it, but then it's also kind of funny that you think a lot of times people like that and celebrities like that are above the tactics that people like you and me would have to pull. Number one, you wouldn't think that William H. Macy and Felicity Huffman would, living in L.A. and everything, would have to resort to being a part of this illegal insider ring that was making millions and millions of dollars just so their kids could go to school where they wanted. I mean, you would think that they on their own. I mean, now, don't get me wrong. But when I first read this, I thought, okay, you're going to have to show me where the illegality comes in. Because there are a lot of kids that get accepted to school because their parents write a check. We know that. That's business. That's business 101. If you want something and your checkbook has a big enough number in it, you can have it. College or anything else. But this apparently was a huge, huge thing. A ton of indictments have been coming down. There's another actress that they're looking for to arrest right now. Felicity Huffman's already been arrested. She was arrested this afternoon. It's going to be interesting to watch. This is going to be a huge thing. And some of the people involved, I guess, that have turned state's evidence are coming out and saying, you haven't even heard anything yet. Like, this touches every major Ivy League college, every major college. Like, this is going to be bigger than FBI wiretaps on an NCAA head coach. Bigger. This is going to be bigger than a college paying players and blue chip athletes. This is going to be huge because of the people that are involved in it. Every single one of them is a household name. So it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to watch it play out. Even more, I can't wait to watch the movie that they're going to make in which all these people will probably pay themselves and get paid to do it. It's how it works. I'm interested to see, though. I'm heading out to L.A. in a couple of weeks. Got some big meetings I've got to go out there for. I'm interested to see what the tension is like out there when I get out there. But I'll tell you another reason. I am looking forward to going because this Nashville weather, I'm over it. I am literally 110% over it. It's literally 15 degrees one day and 70 the next. And I'm ready for 72 and sunshine. So, LA, here I come. Got a bunch to do before I go, and a bunch to do when I get back. So it will be, I'm going to be just busy as hell while I'm there. But busy in LA is different than busy anywhere else. It never feels like work when I'm out there. Also, I'm going to be running and doing something for the third year in a row this summer. You'll be seeing me roll more stuff out about this in the coming days. You've heard of Indian Summer. I do Independent Summer. And what I do for Independent Summer is, for a certain number of independent artists, I will produce their project, their EP, 5 songs, for a major label style, exactly how I would produce a major label record, except I do it for a price that you wouldn't believe. And I people submit their stuff, and I go through it, and I pick the ones that interest me. We're going to be doing that Independent Summer again this year. And if you're not following me on social media, but that's something that interests you, working with me in the studio, having me produce your EP, be like a major label thing, you wouldn't be able to afford this any other way. I'm going to be picking the people that I'm going to do Independent Summer with probably over the next 30 days, as we kind of in the middle of spring getting into summer. So if you're interested in that, at the Steve Freeman on all social media, I'll be rolling out stuff for you, information on how you can submit your music and your social media profiles and things like that to be considered for Independent Summer. But I'll be rolling that kind of stuff out. Okay, so we did the soapbox thing. We talked about Spotify. We talked about all that. Let's get into some chat. Let's see what's going on. We got Remade Gaming's in here. We've got Decoys in here. Zapper 2K is in the house. Big Mike is in the house. Potsy TV, what's up, Potsy? Good to see you. Kaylin Dory's in the house. Jimbo's in the house. James Buchanan, he's watching on YouTube. Lloyd Kenny, what's happening? Good to see you here. Shane Stevens, good to see you. Speaking of Shane, I will be producing Shane's new EP. We are going in the studio. I'm sorry, Shane. The 25th of this month. Shane's going to be coming to town. We're going in the studio with the best players in Nashville, and we're going to come out with an EP that is just going to blow your mind. It's going to be awesome. I've got Shane going through picking his favorites of his songs right now. I'm kind of doing the same thing, living with them. What I do when I produce an EP, just so people know, I like to hear music in its most stripped down form. I don't like to hear demos because I don't like to get somebody else's production stuck in my head. Like I want to have my own stamp on it and my own thing. So what I do is I ask the artist to give them to me in voice memos, just guitar vocals, piano vocals, whatever. Send them to me like that. And then I put them all on my phone. I put them on a disc, and I make several copies because I have several cars, and I never know which one I'm going to drive. So I have a copy, and most of the time I do it on my phone so that I can just plug it in. No matter which car I'm driving, I can plug it in. And then I just drive around and I listen to them. And then I figure out which ones that I like, and then I go back and I put them in another playlist, not on Spotify, and I arrange them in different orders so that when I finally find that magic order that makes the EP make sense, so that each song has its own identity, but it fits together as a complete project. So that's what I'm in the middle of doing right now with Shane's music. And I got to be honest with you, Shane, I think I said something in an email. You blew me away, man. I was not expecting for it to be as good as it is. I'm really looking forward to working with you in the studio, man. It's going to be awesome. It's really going to be an awesome project. I'm looking forward to the 25th and having you here and making an awesome project. Did I just see that Big Mike typed in the chat that Odell Beckham just got traded to the Cleveland Browns? Seriously. Wow. I'm going to tell you, man, Cleveland is stacked. If that is the truth, they are stacked. Baker Mayfield throw into Odell Beckham? Are you kidding me? with their backfield, the other receivers, wow. Cleveland stacked. Cleveland, it will be for real. Of course, I'm sure everybody saw Antonio Brown is going to Oakland. Everybody thought he was going to. There was a lot going on saying that they thought that Antonio Brown was going to come to Tennessee. Then it was he's going to Buffalo, and I don't know what happened there, but that got snuffed out really quick. And then all of a sudden, he's going to Oakland, and they're also now saying that they're going after Le'Veon as well. So Cleveland got Odell Beckham for a first, third, and Jabril Peppers. That's what they traded to get Odell Beckham? Wow. I can't wait to watch Cleveland play this year. Although I will have to say, here's the problem that I see possibly forming. I'm not throwing this out there and saying this is what's going to happen. I'm just saying this is possible. That's a lot of ego on one team. Because let's not also forget who else is on Cleveland. Des Bryant is still on the team as well, correct? Baker Mayfield, OBJ, Des Bryant, those three heads in the same room, and Jarvis Landry. It's either going to be one of the best teams that has ever taken the field, or it's going to completely implode halfway through the season. It's going to be interesting. But if you think that back in the day with Deion Sanders and those guys that was an ego, I don't know that we will have ever seen anything like Baker Mayfield, OBJ, Des Bryant, and Jarvis Landry all in the same room on the same team. Oh, that's right. They got Kareem Hunt, too. I'll tell you what, even if they're not good on the field, they could throw down off the field. That is going to be one. Oh, that's right. Des Bryant's on the Saints. That's right. But that's, wow, impressive team that they are putting together in Cleveland. That's going to be interesting. I am trying to watch all the trade news and what's going on with the draft being here in Nashville. Y'all know how much I hate people. And it's times like this that my absolute disdain for 99% of the human race is holding me back, because I'm kind of wanting to go down there. I kind of want to go down to the draft and experience that. I just don't want to go down there and be around all those people. So I'm trying to figure out a way. I've made a couple phone calls. We'll see what happens. Because I can't go without. If I go, I'm going to go and I'm going to film it. Right? I'm going to film the whole little journey, the whole little thing, and share it with you guys. Titans got Cameron Wake. That's good. It's going to be interesting. I'm so ready for football. Has anybody been watching that other BS football league that started up that NFL Network's running some of the games? I have not watched it once. I don't know anybody that has watched it once. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I don't know what the numbers are on it. I don't know anything. Y'all just popping off great news in the chat. Keep it coming. If anybody's got anything they want to talk about, any kind of comments you want to make, or you want to take me on, you want to argue with me, you want to call me a son of a bitch, now's the time. Now is the time. And why is now the time? Because I can smell the loft essence of bratwurst being cooked somewhere in this house. And once I start smelling bratwurst, when I eat one meal a day, one. So when I start smelling that, it's like, I start to want to answer questions and get the fuck out. if you know what I mean. TJ Swag says, what do you think about TuneCore? I don't really have an issue with TuneCore. I know that I've not ever done a video per se on TuneCore because some of those things I want to stray outside of what we consider the mainstream of the distributors. I don't have a problem with TuneCore. If you want to go with TuneCore, I think you'll be just fine. You'll certainly be better off with TuneCore than Ditto, which, by the way, I have an update for. We don't have time to go into it tonight, but for those of you tuned in that are familiar with my Best Distributor series on my YouTube channel, you've probably seen my Don't Ditto video, and there is an update. Ditto actually reached out to me, and they sent me an email. They've called me. They have seen the video. Let's just put it that way. This will be a topic maybe next week. We will get into this. I'm also working on a video, and I've had to run it through my legal team because I don't want to get sued. DistroKid is fine as well, TJ. You can't go wrong. You'll be happy with TuneCore. You'll be happy with DistroKid. If you do want to go with TuneCore, and this goes not just for TuneCore, but any of the digital distributors, do not, I repeat, do not use any of their additional services. None of their promotional services, none of that. It's all bullshit, and you're just wasting your money. If you just want to use them to distribute your EP, single, album, whatever, you're going to be happy. You can't go wrong. TuneCore will deliver it. You'll be fine. I've never had any payment issues with TuneCore. You'll be fine. Or if you want to go with DistroKid, you'll be fine there. Back to what I was saying. The main point here, Ditto did reach out to me. They sent me a very long and heartfelt email. They also made me some offers. I have not written them back yet. I'm not going to accept their offers because I think that it would be two-faced of me to say the things that I've said accurately and honestly about what happened, and then somehow gloss it over because Ditto offered me something in exchange for me to say nice things about them, which is what they've done. I'm going to read the entire email on next week's show, and we're going to talk about it. They probably are not going to like that I'm doing that, but they watched my video. They saw my video. They see by numbers that it's affecting their bottom line. The video that I did is affecting their business, as it should, based on their business practices. So they reached out to me, sent me a long email, and basically want to make nice. Well, as the Dixie Chicks would say, I'm not ready to make nice yet. We'll talk about that on next week's program. All right, anybody else got anything else? Any last-minute trades we need to know about? Anything we talked about tonight, did it offend you? Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Do you think I have lost my ever-loving mind? I am interested in your opinion. I do care what you think. Not really. I really do. I mean, I care what you think. I really don't give a shit one way or the other what your opinion is. I do care what you think, though. I mean, because it's important to be able to express your opinion in this open two-way street that we have going here. Speak now or forever hold your peace. That's what I'm going to say. Big Mike says, go Eagles. See? I mean, it's like that. I know what you meant, Mike. I know what you meant. James is retracting messages up there before I can get to them and read them. I'm pretty far back on chat. Let me go back and see. Decoy says, what you said, the guy got some minor points, but I'm more intrigued by the preach and amen, brother, from Steve. Oh, God. I'm going to take heat over that. And the language I've used tonight has almost all but guaranteed that this video will be demonetized almost immediately. But that's fine. That's fine. Zapper2, sorry, I got distracted. We'll have to hit the video. Yes, this show the very show that you're watching right now will be available later tonight on video on demand on YouTube. It will also be available tomorrow at noon on Spotify. I'm sorry. That's funny, right? I mean, it's funny. Based on what we've talked about tonight, that's fucking funny. I don't care who you are. It will be available on Spotify and Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, iTunes. Let me say that Apple is the only one of the streaming companies that is not choosing to fight the decision to increase the 44% of royalties that they're going to be paid to songwriters. Apple has come out with a statement and said they wish to continue to be the friend to songwriters. I would argue that if you want to be my friend, I think you should pay me more money than you pay me. But beggars can't be choosers. So, but that is kind of a cool thing. So when everybody has asked me, and I've been getting a lot of questions about this. So if you're anti-Spotify, what do? I say go with Apple Music. Apple Music is the only one, not Amazon, Spotify, everybody else is appealing this decision to raise royalty rates for songwriters. Everyone except Apple. So for all of you people that have Spotify premium memberships, cancel that shit and go get Apple Music. That's what I say. Man, Big Mike's like my personal Mort over here. Desean Jackson to who? Who did Desean who? Where did he go? Quickly, type it in there. Quick. I know they were talking about him all day today, wondering where he was going to go. The Titans got Humphreys from Tampa Bay, so I'm anxious to see where Desean Jackson's going to go. Oh, he went back to the Eagles. Wow. Team that drafted him, right? Yeah, the Eagles drafted Desean Jackson. TJ says, nah, we appreciate you, bro. We all watch your vids for a final decision. Good, man. That TJ is why I make them. I hope that it helps, my friend. I have another review that's going to be coming out on the channel. Guys, I'm really expanding what the YouTube channel is going to be all about this year. I mean, like, I'm going, I was trying to think that, okay, you're on the highway and you've got these 2 lanes, right? Or 4 lanes or how many ever, but you've got the hard ones on both sides that let you know you're on the road. I'm going to build lanes in my highway, the bad analogy. What I'm saying is that my YouTube channel is about to get very diverse. The reason for that is because I'm a diverse person. I have more interests than music. I have a lot more interest than music. Music doesn't really interest me that much anymore. It's my profession, but I don't have a passion for it. I could give it or take it. I don't really care. But I have so many other interests. Watching the Grand Tour has reminded me how much I love cars. And I realize I've got my ZL1 in the garage. I haven't driven in 5 months. And it's like, I love cars. So I might do some car stuff. I love camera gear. We're going to start talking about camera gear. All of these people that try to go on and have these YouTube videos of telling you what you're supposed to do or not supposed to do to grow your YouTube channel, I'm saying fuck it. This year, my YouTube channel is going to be about exactly what I want it to be about. And it's going to be based on content that I want to put out there. I'm hoping you guys like it. And there will always be a hardcore base for the music business stuff because that's close to my heart and I want to be able to help you guys. Like TJ, I want to help you. Shane, I want to help you. And it will always have that underbelly element to it, but I want to expand. I want to get into car stuff. I want to get into camera stuff, podcasting stuff, video stuff, streaming stuff. There's just a lot of I'm starting a clothing brand, which I don't think I was supposed to let that slip yet. Oops. Yeah, oops. But that cat's out of the bag. I am starting a clothing line. It's completely separate from the esports company and all that. I was really not supposed to say anything yet, and I got caught up in that. More information on that coming. But I've gone too far now. Those of you that have followed me, whether it's social media or my blog, and for those of you that are new, this whole thing came about because I had a very successful blog several years ago about the music business, and that turned into me wanting to do this when I got into when I started the YouTube channel, and so this is all kind of carrying over into that. But my whole thing with how I've developed my entire career and my brand has always been about being an outsider. I never wanted to be the insider. I always wanted to find my way. My way never lined up with the way things were supposed to be done. And because of my attitude, I was always branded an outsider. The thing is that most of the times in life, that's supposed to be a negative thing. For the people that brand you an outsider or a renegade or a rebel or whatever, they do that to be a negative thing. I took it as a badge of honor, and that's where I staked my claim. So I've been working on it with several teams of people, and we're going to be launching it very soon. But it's called Outsider Streetwear, and it's going to be freaking awesome. And it's going to be clothes and accessories and different things that exude that kind of lifestyle, my lifestyle. It's going to be for the outcasts and the outsiders, but it's going to be cool. And I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, I was not supposed to say anything yet because nothing's ready to roll. But it will be available. I can't go into all that. I've already said things I'm not even supposed to have said yet. So sorry about that. More to come on that. It's just, I feel like I want to talk to you guys about what's going on. And, I want to let you guys in on the journey and what you're doing. We've got tons of stuff planned for Twitch and the esports organization. It's going to be a big year. I got to be real honest with you. I am a bit overwhelmed at the moment. I'm not going to lie. I'm not sleeping very much. I'm feeling better. Finally got that under control. Feeling great. But I'm not sleeping very much, and I'm spreading myself extremely thin right now. I need to hire about 3 or 4 people, but I don't trust anybody enough to hire them. That's just me being realistic. If I want to do it and I want it done right, I'm going to do it myself. I don't trust anybody else to do it because they're not going to do it right. And then I have to end up going back and redoing it. That's the way I look at it. So a lot of it's my fault. But going back to what I was saying about, that's why I'm going to be doing what I'm doing with the YouTube channel over the next year and having it be more of a wide variety of things. Plus, I want you guys to be influential in the process. If there is a topic you would like me to do a video on, if there's a car or anything, a camera or piece of equipment, studio gear, if there's anything you want to know about, but you want to know about it with my take on it, which is 100% truth and honesty all the time based on how I use it and feel it and like it or dislike it, no matter who it is or what it is, let me know. Follow me on social media, @TheSteveFreeman. Shoot me a DM. Shoot me an email, thestevefreeman@gmail.com. Visit thestevefreeman.com. There are a million different ways that you can get in touch with me. And I want this channel to be about, yes, things that I enjoy, but I have a sneaking suspicion that you guys enjoy a lot of the same things that I enjoy. So I would love to do some things that maybe I'm not thinking about that maybe you guys have good ideas for. Shoot me those ideas. I'll look into them. Tell you, watching the Grand Tour this last week and a half has given me an idea for a killer show that I'm thinking about doing. All of that kind of stuff, I'm just really excited about. So, okay, back to chat. Anybody else got anything they want to say? Anybody got any questions they want to ask? James says, I retracted my comment because there was so much more I wanted to say about it and didn't want to post it all. I got you. I understand that. I can only imagine what I'm going to hear, some of the emails and comments I'm going to get later on some of the things that I said, but I don't care because I stand by every single one of them. That being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the program. I don't see anything else in chat. If you want to go back, watch and absorb what we've talked about tonight, the topics, anything else, every episode of the Steve Freeman podcast is available on demand on YouTube. It is also available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can find it there. At the Steve Freeman across all social medias. Guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. I appreciate every single one of you tuning in. I appreciate everything you guys do. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate the likes and the follows and all of that other good junk that we are now required to do to make sure we can have some semblance of a community here. But thank you, guys. And as we close out tonight, like we do every week, guys, keep being creative. Keep pressing the boundaries. And there's nothing wrong with being independent. Guys, see you in the next one.
Curtain call, guess I want it all.